Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope you all had a great Memorial Day weekend. Today, we are talking about your to-do list. This is a source of frustration and feeling overwhelmed for so many people. The list just tends to grow and grow and grow, and we tend to feel like we're not getting nearly as much done as we ought to be. So today, we're going to talk about how to break up your to-do list into smaller pieces and how to prioritize getting it done without feeling overwhelmed by it and without feeling the need to avoid it. So the first thing that I suggest is to break up your to-do list into two. A lot of times people will have one list that just extends on and on and on. Break it up into two. One that's for professional tasks or to-dos, and one that's for personal. This will help you separate it, not only in your mind, but also when it comes to planning. It's a lot easier to execute when we see exactly what we need to do in one part of our life versus the other. I tend to break mine up into several different lists. And so if you feel like you already do the two lists and maybe could benefit from getting more specific, feel free to add another one. But for now, keep it simple if you're used to just doing one, and break it down into two lists. Personal list to-dos, professional list of to-dos. The second tip I'm going to give you is to make your to-do list the night before. So often when we wake up and we already feel anxious or stressed about the day, we might have a hard time actually being able to reasonably think about what has to get done and figure out how to prioritize it. But if we do it at the end of the day for the next day, it's a little bit easier for us to picture it in advance and to have the foresight of what the day will look like without the stress of the day already being here and there already being pressure on you to perform. So every evening or late afternoon, create your list for the next day. So tonight you'd be making it for tomorrow. Wednesday you'd be making it for Thursday. The third tip is to tackle the toughest tasks first. So we've talked about in prior Facebook Lives how sometimes you want to choose the smallest one to build momentum. Sometimes you want to choose the heaviest or most daunting ones to get it off your chest. This time I'm going to say, do the hardest first. Get it out of the way, overcome the hardest one, and the other ones feel a little bit easier to do. Now I say that knowing that a lot of our tasks and to-do items are time sensitive. So we have to make sure that we have ample time to get a particular task done. Look at your schedule for the next day. Choose the task on that list that seems the most overwhelming or difficult and see where you could place it in your day, where you could actually schedule it in. And that's the next tip, is to actually schedule your tasks into your calendar. So I want you to be able to say, here's my professional to-do list. I'm looking at my work schedule tomorrow. I see what times I have meetings, what times I have downtime, and I'm going to insert this particular task into my schedule where it actually will pop up with a reminder and let me know it's time to execute on that to-do. Scheduling can be a really helpful way for us to follow through because now it's actually right in front of us or pops up and reminds us to do it. Whereas a lot of times people feel like they go through the whole day and they glance at their to-do list realizing they didn't intentionally focus on getting any of their to-do list items done. So schedule it in a part of the day that you know you have the time to get it done. And the same for your personal list. So choose a time that you have available to get those tasks done. Fifth tip is for scheduling and encouraging rewards. So I want you to think about, okay, if I look at my work to-do list for tomorrow, my work schedule, I'm going to fit in this particular task before my meeting or before my lunch break or whatever time of the day. But what I want to do after that is to acknowledge that success in getting my to-do list item done, and I'm going to reward myself. So maybe I'll take a 5-minute break and sit outside in the sun. Maybe I'll give myself permission to check my emails or social media. Maybe I'll grab a quick snack or treat to acknowledge some type of reward. It could literally be as simple as, great job, I'm so glad I got that done. It feels like such a relief. And it could be as big as anything you want it to be. But creating some reward system really does help positively reinforce our behavior. So if you can think about, after that task, I'm going to reward myself with X, Y, or Z, you might also feel a little bit more excited, motivated, or tolerant of the task at hand. And the last tip is, at the end of every day, you're going to cross off the items that you completed, and then I want you to either erase or throw out the list. So if you're paper-based, you're going to cross off everything that you did throughout the day. You're going to crumple it up or rip it up, throw it out. You start a new list for tomorrow. Don't have a paper that's going on several pages with crossouts that just looks like a mess. It's going to make you feel overwhelmed, make you feel chaotic. You want to simplify. So throw out your list, create a new one every day. Don't just keep one long list running. And if you happen to be more of an app person, pick an organizational app that allows you to structure your to-dos and break them down into categories. My favorite one right now is called Google Keep, K-E-E-P, and it's wonderful because you can create color-coded to-do lists, and you can title them and assign a color to them, and you can check off the box when you complete a task, and it drops it down so that you can actually see them below if you want to see what you've striked out, or you can even erase the ones you've done so that your list just looks so much shorter. So pick an app if you enjoy that way, do paper if you enjoy that way, pick a system that works for you, but make sure every day you erase your list and you start a new one with whatever is remaining. So for the recap today, it's 2 lists, personal and professional. We're going to separate our to-dos. We are going to make our lists late afternoon or evening before so that we don't feel overwhelmed and pressured, and we can really take a look at what the next day should be and how we can schedule in our to-do list items throughout the day. Third is to start with the hardest first. So try to make sure to tackle whichever is feeling most overwhelming to you or daunting. And remember that you have to consider time and how much time it will take to get these items done. Fourth is to actually create those reminders in your schedule, in your planner, that will pop up and say, hey, you scheduled me for this time, it's time to do the laundry, or it's time to tackle this particular one specific task at this particular time. 5 is to acknowledge your success by rewarding yourself. So whether it's a pat on the back, whether it's something bigger, you choose your reward structure. Acknowledge your successes. They all count and they all make a difference. And lastly, create a new list every day. Make sure you are throwing out or erasing the list that you completed for the day, and you're starting a new one for tomorrow. It will help you feel that everything is simplified, calm, peaceful, and productive. So get out there, make it a great day. I hope that you find this Facebook Live helpful. I hope you feel less overwhelmed about tackling your to-dos. Feel free to reach out and let me know if there's any topics that you'd like to hear. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.